You're listening to Parasearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio. Parasearch Radio, broadcasting to the UK and beyond.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening and welcome to the Paranormal Pop-Up Show. We were getting bored, so we thought we'd come on air for you guys. And, well, it's been quite a day today for some of the ladies of Parasearch Radio, because in the Daily Mail today, we had 3 of Parasearch Radio's presenters in the Daily Mail. And I've got Gemma and Joe in the studio with me, and we're going to have a little look at this, and we're going to break it down a bit and examine it a little bit in further detail. Good evening, ladies. How have you been?
Hi, Chicken. How are you?
I'm fine. Absolutely fine. I've missed this, haven't you?
Massively. Massively. It's been so quiet. And it's not just the actual radio, it's the after show parties too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Been a bit weird.
I'm good as well. But just a quiet Christmas, like I think all of you lot have had as well. Or maybe not.
Well, no, it's been busy. I have to say, it's been busy. It's not been quiet. It's been busy, but it's been, it's Christmas at the end of the day. You know, what more can you say about it? It's Christmas. You forced stability, presents, and drinking. What more could you want, eh?
Oh, is that forced drinking? Is that what we're going with now?
We're going with forced eating, forced drinking, and lots of presents.
I was forced to drink. Shock horror.
A lot. To the point I don't think I can drink anymore.
You've only got another 358 days till the next forced drinking session anyway.
Well,
so.
I'm not going to complain because I think my liver needs it, if I'm honest.
I know. I tell you, today is like no. Would you like a glass of wine? No. I literally can't take it anymore. Until next Friday. Probably. So, ladies, Daily Mail, eh?
Daily Mail.
What
Fancy
the hell
that.
happened there?
3 of us.
I know, right? You're going to be famous.
Well,
it's a great thing though. Like, I mean, when I saw the paper this morning, I was like, oh my God, Gemma's on the front of the Daily Mail.
Oh,
I was like, that is amazing.
Well, somebody actually sent me that picture on Messenger. It was like, front cover, something you want to tell me? And I was like, I'm not even going to pretend. I was hanging, I was still drunk, and I was reading the message. And you know what it's like. One eye shut, you're squinting with the other. You're trying to make head and tail of what you're reading. And I was like, And then I looked at the picture again and literally fell off my bed.
Because they didn't tell you that bit, did they? That they were going to be like, they didn't tell you that bit?
No, at no point was we told that, one of us, all of us, whatever, could end up being on the front page. And I was just like, it's got to be a wind-up, right? So, because I'd already fallen off my bed, still drunk. So I went bobbing off to the local shop and I was like, Daily Mail, please, young man. And sure enough, there I am. And I was like, oh,
splattered in full Charlie's Angels pose, I would like to say.
It was cracking, wasn't it? It was such a good pose.
Oh, do you know what? I've had years of practice of doing that Charlie's Angels pose.
Looking gorgeous. Right, so let's have a look at this situation. So you go along to the Daily Mail. You've done your interviews, by the way. That all gets done before the photo shoot bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you got all put in boiler suits, which is very cliche of the Ghostbuster world, doesn't it? So
It didn't happen like that, though.
Okay, so how did that happen?
Well, in all fairness, just before we get into how it happened, I actually preferred the boiler suits to the other outfit that I had.
Oh, okay. Was it a wrap dress?
No, I just looked about 90.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the clothes were for the more mature lady, and we, everybody were kind of saying, "Oh, I don't want to wear that. I don't want to wear this," and we had kind of 70s ensembles in quite,
Not that we're divas, because we're not divas, but
you're young, attractive women who do not want to be dressed like 1970s housewives, right?
yeah.
It was, that's quite simple,
And
isn't it?
the worst thing about it is it was all bright colours as well, and 90% of women avoid bright colours like the plague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They
am
put all the bright
black.
colours in the shoe thing and the belt thing, didn't they?
Yeah.
But that worked. I think that really shone out
It
in
did
everybody's
work.
personality, and it looked so good. And plus, because we all had different shades of green and different textures of fabric and things like that, they did flatter the, obviously what we were trying to achieve. But, some of the outtakes of the photo.
Yeah.
The
I don't know,
outtakes
girls,
are
if
hilarious.
you guys out there, if you've not seen the outtakes of the photos, then go check out Hazel Ford. I think she shared it. Joe, I think, has shared it as well, haven't you? I think MJ
shared
has
them,
shared
yeah.
it. Yeah, because it wasn't just you three girls. There was Hazel Ford from Haunted Happenings, MJ Dixon from Sage Paranormal, Sally
Ann Hunt from Keep It Real Paranormal.
Yep.
And Kerry Ann as well.
That's right, yeah.
And your own Penny as well. So
yeah, so these ladies are gathered together as basically the face of the paranormal field now. They look awesome. I have to say, you look absolutely beautiful in the photos. I'm well impressed with them photos.
Oh, the makeup and hair guy, Carl, was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Couldn't ask for a better makeup artist. He was just everything. He was great. He's now I now message him on a regular basis. I'm like, hi mate.
Come and do my makeup. It's Happy New Year. I'm going out tomorrow. Can you come and make me look beautiful?
We actually did message him though, didn't we, Gemma? We messaged him when we went to London for Magic Mike the other week.
Are you working?
Are you working tonight? Can we book you? But yeah, to no avail though.
Oh, I didn't even meet you for a drink.
No, he'd been at work all day, bless him. So,
to be fair, we did all right. We scrubbed up quite well, didn't we, Gemma?
Yeah, we don't do bad.
I think you do bloody look. You're gorgeous, I have to say. So, right, what's the bits of kit you're holding in the photos?
Oh,
can you remember?
Mine's a spirit box. Mine's the PSB 11.
MJ looks like it's a K2.
Yeah, a couple had K2 meters, a couple had temperature guns. Who else? I can't remember now who else had what.
I'm just looking at the pictures actually now. There was an ovulus there.
Okay. Well, typical pieces of kit that we use in the field, isn't it?
Yeah,
basically?
pretty much. Yeah, there was nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay, well, that's fine. We wasn't expecting anything more major than that. And handheld gadgets is what would have fitted the photo, right? So
yeah.
We're not moaning about that. Now, I love the article. I'm not saying I don't. I do. I love it. But there's a few things I think it raised in regards to media's perception of the paranormal field. Now, so let's have a little look at the article, shall we?
Yeah, do it.
Shall we take a little look at this? Now, it states that basically 52% believe in ghosts and 1 in 5 claimed to have seen one. What do we make of that little statistic there?
I'm not. I don't think that's correct at all. When people are asking us about how many teams were in the UK and things like that, and how many people would actually believe in that, I would have probably said, the amount of teams that we've got, I'd say probably around about 2,000 teams, small individual paranormal groups across the whole of the UK, on average have about 14 members, don't they? Probably a little bit more, probably a little bit less. Depends. But 52% of the population, I think that's quite high, and I think it's not. I don't think it's correct. I don't know where they've got that from.
And if we pull apart the 1 in 5 people have seen a ghost.
It's seeing a ghost, though, I suppose. I think you could probably play devil's advocate. They claim to have seen one, not had a supernatural experience.
Yeah. When you look at it that way, slightly different. But as it reads, 1 in 5 people have seen a ghost.
Yeah. No, I don't.
I don't know the actual statistics, so I can't.
I doubt
I
doubt if 1 in 5 people had seen it. I doubt very much that a lot of people would say, "I've seen a ghost."
Well, I would like to challenge just 1 in 5 having claimed to see one, because how many times if we go out, you would think that the paranormal community as a whole would be a higher percentage of seeing something, and most of the time we don't. In fact, 99.9% of the time we don't have anything at all.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. I mean, it was just a statistic they popped in there, and I don't know where they got their figures from, but it'd be interesting to find out where they did, or whether that was just a quick Google search to fill a line. I don't know. So,
I'm guessing it was a Google search.
Possibly. Who knows? Now, it states that the supernatural has become big business with the rise of ghost walks and English Heritage and National Trust keen to cash in on properties' dark pasts. Well,
that's not true, is it? Because the National Trust will not let anybody investigate any of their properties.
Exactly. Right?
So
there is a lot, though. I mean, if devil's advocate, let's go down that route again. There is a lot of people that own said haunted locations that are making a lot of money.
That's true. I mean, you've got to look at the pubs, and it's like the most haunted pub in Britain, and there's one in every town.
Well, there's if not more than one in every town.
Yeah.
Well,
there's one this part of the town.
Every 3 doors, isn't there?
every other house, exactly. So I mean, who am I to say that they're not haunted? I can't say that, but what I can say is, I do actually agree with what they're saying in that statement, because a lot of people that own locations are making a lot of money.
It is for monetary value, though, isn't it? That's basically what it is. And people, I mean, like she asked me today, actually, when we spoke to the lady today, she said to me, "Do you banish spirits? And do you go to people's houses and these properties?" And it's kind of like, well, no, because 99% of those are just to jump on the bandwagon for this monetary value. So that's where it comes in, doesn't it?
It does.
A lot.
But, I mean, yes, okay, so we can argue the point that locations are making money off of the back of paranormal to have paranormal investigations go in. We know that some locations are incredibly expensive. It depends on the size of the location. And even some of the smaller locations are quite costly. But at the end of the day, it's a business. They need to raise revenues for the upkeep of their locations and, cover insurance costs. And, so I'm not criticising that part. But I kind of feel that it was a little bit, everybody's making a lot of money out of the paranormal.
Oh, and massively. Yeah.
That's how it struck me when I read that. I thought, God, is that saying that we're all hands up, who's made a lot of money in the paranormal field? Because I haven't.
Neither have I.
Well, nobody can see if I've got my hand up or not, but I mean, let's go on to the article that was written supposedly from myself.
Okay.
In that bit, it's worded like I make a lot of money. I can 100% say that is categorically not true. If anything, I am completely out of pocket by running events. Massively out of pocket.
I have to say, it's not a fame and fortune game. The people that get that is like a real small percentage. Most of the time, you're paying. It's a hobby, so you're putting money into it to do something you love because it's a passion that's what you're out there for. And yes, sometimes you do, set up a business because that's the correct way to do it. If you're going to have members of the public coming in, you have to do it the correct way with the correct procedures. So yeah, technically it's setting up a business. That doesn't mean to say the business is making money. It doesn't mean to say you're rolling around on your bed full of cash.
Exactly.
It's basically to cover the costs of locations and equipment and insurances and stuff,
which is exactly what I said. I mean, in the write-up itself, it says we make money from public investigations in which groups of people can pay up to £60 each to witness an investigation. That is not what I said at all. I said we do charge for public investigations. The price varies on location cost.
It's how the media perceives those words, though, isn't it? And how they determine what they're actually going to write down and how it's going to come across. But I don't think the media kind of realizes just how much damage they can actually do to a person, let alone just a business. Because at the end of the day, we don't make any money from Phantasmic. In fact, our last event ran at nearly a £300 loss, which, after we've all paid petrol out and the volunteers have come, we haven't got enough funds to pay staff. We haven't got enough funds to actually pay for these huge locations at £1,200 a pop. We just physically can't afford it. And then people are wanting smaller number of groups and, groups of people to come along because everything gets contaminated, and you have to put your prices up then in order to cover that cost, which you're putting yourself out of the market anyway. Then it's just if you've come into this game to make money, we've said this all along, haven't we? You're never ever going to make any money from the paranormal at all.
No, I have to say the other thing that was missed, I think, in this particular article, and I know it's difficult, I suppose, when you only have a certain amount of words and in a copy on a in a magazine or in a newspaper, but they had actually quite a spectrum of various people working in different ways within the paranormal, and that wasn't really made clear because you have got Hazel Ford, who runs Haunted Happenings, does an incredible job at that. She runs, I don't know, God knows how many investigations every single week as a business, as a company, and is very successful at that. But she puts so much work into it. Yeah. So she is that top level of the spectrum in regards to events, organisation, company. That is completely different to what you guys do.
Yeah. Even she says, though, for the amount of time that she actually puts in, the rewards that she gets for that are literally null. It's like she puts in so much effort into those events, and when you go onto groups and you're talking about people charging X amount for investigations and things, what people don't realise behind the scenes, some people pay staff, and then when you start talking about public liability insurance, you're looking at £400 a year before you've even started. Yep. Then you're looking at equipment that you've put your hand in your pocket for. Yeah, and
then your insurance on your equipment.
Yeah, and then people decide to walk away with them at the end of the night and think, oh, it's all right. I've paid for my event. I'll just walk away with a freebie. So in theory, you haven't paid for it because you've
taken equipment.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then add on top of that, snacks, drinks.
Yeah.
Travel expenses. Yeah,
there's a hell of a lot of work that goes into it. So I know Hazel does an incredible job running Haunted Happenings, not taking anything away from the lady. I think she's absolutely awesome. But even she's admitted there are occasions where she takes a hit on her events. It's not all plain sailing. She's not rolling around in pots loads of money. She's having to really graft at it, and it's taken her a long time to build a successful business out of it. And she does really well with what she does. in regards to a public events company.
Yeah.
She's not professing to be anything other than what she is a public events company. She works goddamn hard at it, which anybody in any business that they run for themselves do. Yeah, whether or not it's a building company or a public events company or whatever business you're running. If it's your own business, you work damn hard at it. You don't always make a lot of money. You have a lot of stick for it. I mean, we've had Hazel on before now where she took a hell of a hitting on social media because one person called her out and everybody jumped on the bandwagon. And when you actually broke it down, their point was mute.
Yeah.
Because what she was offering for the amount of money was absolutely a god's steal. It was a steal, quite frankly. So when you start looking at it, it's... I don't know many people that make a lot of money out of the paranormal. I really don't. And it read to me like it was suggesting you were all making loads of money out of the paranormal.
Oh, massively, yeah. I mean, there was a few bits that was missed off as well. Like, I know I said that not only do I do events, but I also do the radio show. And that was missed off. And it is like... Don't get me wrong, I get that, like you've already said, there's a limit on words, etc. But take away the stuff that wasn't actually said and the wording had been changed and you'd have been able to fit more on and it'd have been more accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is that. I mean, I have to say, Joe, let's look at your particular little interview that was said about you.
Go on.
Do your four sisters joke that you're the freak of the family?
One of them does, yeah. But it was said in jest, and it's kind of like, I don't know. I didn't actually say that. I said my family all know what I do. However, when you're kind of perceived to be the freak of the family, I said sometimes it gets a little bit difficult, especially when you go to like places and your sisters are there and they're introducing you to people, and you kind of get to the nitty gritty and then somebody says to you, can you give me a reading? That's basically what was said. So when she said, my sisters call me a freak, they do, but it's in jest. But it's, I mean, the headline that was actually written on there, I find that quite derogatory, really, if I'm honest.
I'm a medium but no freak. Is that the one you're referring to?
Yeah.
They definitely focused on, considering this is about the women in the paranormal community, they focused on your mediumistic abilities, not the fact that you've been on TV shows to do with the paranormal.
Yeah.
The research that you've done, the actual investigation side of things that you've done, they've actually focused on your mediumistic abilities in this. That's just part of what you've done. Yeah.
There's no mention either of, as of the writing of the TV shows and things like that either, and the development of those and the producing of those either. It's kind of that there is a lot that was untouched upon, wasn't there? I mean, obviously, truth be known, Gemma and I have got quite a lot in the pipeline at the minute, so it's kind of something like this is just probably a little bit of a drop in the ocean, but then again it could obviously come back and then potentially bite you on the ass, isn't it? But I have been inundated on Jolene Lockwood, my public profile, with people asking me, can you get hold of so and so and just let me know what's happening in my life right now and I'll believe in the afterlife. And it's like, I've had to mute all of the notifications because I just think to myself, you obviously don't understand the gift. You obviously don't understand how it works. So there's no point me actually going back and explaining to them, by the way, it's not a telephone system. It's more of if they have a message for you, they will give it to you. Not, by the way, can I speak to Elvis at some point tonight?
Take a ticket. Take a ticket. Yeah. Take a ticket, and then 5 minutes later, cashier number 4, please. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that don't quite work like that.
Oh God, wouldn't it be great if it did, though, girls?
I mean, but then again, on the flip side of it, I've had a lovely lady message me earlier on tonight, and she said, "How much do you charge for readings?" And I think she was a little bit shocked because I said, "I don't," and she was like, "Oh, right, okay." And I was like, "Do she was like, can I book you in 2025 then, please? Because I bet you booked up solid.
What?
And I was
Yes,
like, oh my God. But that's the thing, you see, is because I don't really do readings that often. And because I don't advertise the fact that I don't charge, well, I have just now, haven't I? But anyway.
Well, sort of. It's only live on radio, don't worry.
Yeah, but like we're saying, you know, obviously there are mediums out there who charge £50 for a half an hour and this, that and the other. And, you know, half of that time is filling of gaps and, you know, small talk and things like that. I can't do that. It's just, I have to give what I've got. And it's like, well, you know what I'm like, Gemma. It's like, blah, 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 blah. That's it, done. And it's like, I can only give you what I've got. I can't give you any more because you can't. It's just physically impossible.
Yeah, it just doesn't work like that. Don't get me wrong. Like, I get where people are coming from. Everybody's lost somebody at some point in their lives. And I suppose everybody just wants to know if the loved one is okay. So I can get where they're coming from.
Yeah. But
it just don't work like that. You know, it would be lovely if it did, but it doesn't.
It's true. I'd like to talk a little bit about poor old Penny's interview, our very own historian, which
little Pen,
which kind of wasn't acknowledged at all that that's what she does, at all in hers. And her heading is "Fake hauntings are frequent."
Yeah.
You know, 9 times out of 10, the haunting will be faked. Not deliberately by anybody I know. I know it does happen. Does happen, but I wouldn't say 9 times out of 10. And I know Penny, and I spoke to Penny earlier. She can't join us tonight, but that's kind of not what she said.
No,
not what she said
you see,
at all.
this is it though. I mean, we've all had a chat earlier in the day as well, and said, well, actually, I think all of us, everybody. That had an interview done has all said, well, actually, I didn't say that, and I certainly didn't say that in that way. I think everything has been
spun. It's a media spin,
isn't
it?
I mean, what do you expect? Unless it's verbally spoken on TV or on the radio, and it's coming directly from the horse's mouth, you've got that third-party input that is going to word things differently to how you would anyway.
Do you think it's been written so it's more sensational?
Yes. But that's the whole, if you look at it, that was the whole idea of the article. Not that we knew that at the time, but it is.
Do you think that was a naive thing then, expecting it to not be sensationalised? Did you hope that the angle would be a slightly different angle to what it is? But bearing in mind, we're not naive people these days. We know the media can spin things.
Yeah, I mean, I personally thought it was going to be an article about real life investigators.
Yeah, true to life, more factual rather than, you know, a bit more fiction and fact sort of thing. Yeah,
especially, I mean, when you think that, I mean, I don't know how long your interview was, Joe, but mine took a good 45 minutes.
Yeah,
I was on the phone for a good 45 minutes. You know, the conversation that we had was quite in depth. There was a lot of detail in. It wasn't what was printed. But then, you know, other than the fact that it reads that I'm making lots of money, it's not bad.
Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I'll take it.
I think it's absolutely awesome. No, I do think it's awesome that they're acknowledging that women are part of this for whatever reason. You know, they've got into this field and that women are, you know, are present in the field. It's not just all men, which when you look at, you know, the TV side of things, it does feel very male heavy in the paranormal field. It's showing that women are going out there and doing what they like to do and doing it great as well. You know, that's what I would say. I don't think it read derogatory to you at all. It just, I wanted to clear up just a few things that were, you know, the perception of what was said has been twisted to make it something different to what it is, and it is a media perception of the paranormal field, and it really isn't like that. I think in Kerry Ann's interview, they actually did quote one of the things, and I know she said this, so it's quite good. She said, "Ghost hunting is like fishing. Sometimes you sit all day in the freezing cold with no activity at all. Other days, your equipment will be buzzing with light, sounds and voices, and it's all worth it. But I'd also know, she added, and then the fun starts when you're trying to work out logical, rational explanations as to why. And
Exactly.
that's the bit they missed out of that quote.
Yeah.
And I know Kerry
Yeah.
Ann, and I know what she would have said to it. And actually, she forwarded me what she had said before it went in. So I know what she said. So they kind of missed the bottom bit off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They missed that bit off of it. But that is exactly what ghost hunting is like, isn't it? It is like fishing.
Of course it is.
And it is freezing cold with no activity the majority of the time. And that is it.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't sum it up any better, really, than it's like fishing. I'm not one for fishing, in all fairness.
No.
But you can't really sum it up any better. It is exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
You sit, you wait, you encourage, but it don't mean to say you're going to get anything.
No. It certainly doesn't mean you're going to get anything at all. But it makes me chuckle, I think, when I know all the people that have been involved in this particular article, and I know what they're like, you know. Nathan, it's fantastic to see them in the paper and looking so beautiful and actually putting it out there that it is a field that incorporates everybody. It's not just men in the field. It's not just, you know, it is a field that's active with people out there trying to doing something that they love to do with the passion that they do it. So Nathan, I'm not caning the girls at all. Please don't read it like that, because that's not what it's about. I just wanted to clear up a few things that were said in it and just have a look at it from a media perspective of how things get spun and how you should look at any article, forget this particular article, but any article that has got a media spin on it. And we've seen quite a few actually over the last year in the media. You know, it seems to be a big thing at the moment, the paranormal field stories or supernatural stories, or
I
see,
this is it.
With a ghost, I married a ghost, and leading on to how the media has spun that. Now, we're very, very lucky because Parasearch Radio has a very special guest on the Supernatural show coming up, don't we, Gemma?
Oh, we do. I'm so excited.
Okay, do you want to tell the listeners who we've got coming up?
So we have got Amanda Sparrow. I've forgotten her surname.
Is it Large or something?
Yes, Amanda Sparrow Large. Yes. So Amanda is the lady that married the 300-year-old pirate, Jack, and is currently divorcing him.
Okay. So
now,
it reads,
we've seen... Yeah, go on, Kerry.
Batshit crazy.
Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah. I mean, let's not deny it. Yes, it does. Yeah.
Okay, but we've seen it from a very media paranormal perspective, which is we've outlined how things can be taken out of context or read in a different way to how it was. It's going to be fascinating listening to Amanda's perspective on this because, yes, she may come across as, no disrespect, Amanda, but batshit crazy. But then again, she may come across completely differently. So we wanted to get her on to kind of just get her words, her perspective on
her story. Yeah,
her story on this.
How did it happen? How did you meet him? You know, how on earth did you get married? The questions that I've got are, well, I think we might actually run over on that show because I've got a full book of questions.
Wow. Yeah, I think there are so many questions there that you need to ask her, though, to be able to get the answers that we're requiring. Because But
we've got the opportunity. We have the opportunity to do so. You know, or you girls have got the opportunity to do so on the radio. So we actually get to hear her perspective on it, not a 5-minute segment on a sofa on daytime TV or a column in a sensationalized newspaper. It's important that we look beyond the media and we do a bit more digging, you know, about some of the stories that hit. And they may prove to be absolutely attention-seeking, no basis in fact whatsoever. However, where do you start? If you're not someone's not knocking at your door going, I think I've got a ghost, can you come and like have a look and see? Where do you start? You either go to a location going ghost hunting, or you get a story and you try and follow that line of inquiry through, and then do your research and your work on that. And isn't that the responsibility of proper paranormal investigating?
Without a doubt, of course it is. Yeah, yeah. How can you be doing it properly if you're not doing all of the above? Like, if it's a house call, I will spend hours speaking to the person.
Yeah, you've got to interview that person.
Yeah,
because
before I even go, I will sit and speak for hours. I want all the ins and outs.
Yeah, we could have so many people ring us up and say, and you start to speak to the question. And,
Joe, I'm losing you.
Kind of understand. Oh, no, you're not.
No, don't go now.
No, I'm not. I'm still here. But anyway, yeah, we could, 95% of the time, if we went out to every single call that we got to say, please, can you come and investigate? I've got a ghost. We would never be in. But it's when you in kind of, I know it sounds really wrong to say this, but when you interrogate somebody, you ask them the questions, but you ask them in different ways. You tend to understand a little bit more about what is actually going on in that house, because people actually come back, and when they're talking to you, they don't actually remember what they've said. So when you ask them a different way, it's kind of like, okay. So you've got to kind of play police, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
You have got to police. You've got to police that, because if you don't, then you'd be out here, there, and everywhere, and you'd be just sat in freezing cold fishing areas, and coming up with absolutely fuck all. You don't want to waste time like that.
No. So it is about, okay, so we came, the media for the sensational sexing it up side, but they're kind of doing us a favour. They're kind of doing a bit of a job for us. And it is going to be fascinating listening to Amanda talk. I'm looking forward to that one. And I know my personal opinion on it from reading the media side of it. But I'm interested in hearing what the woman's got to say about it. There was, like Gemma said, I probably could sit there and write a million questions about how, about this situation for her. And at the end of the day, we're kind of trying to... There must be a basis in fact that we believe there is life after life. Otherwise we wouldn't bother going out in the field and trying to prove that there is life after life. Isn't that what we're doing?
Yeah, I think the majority of paranormal investigators have had some sort of a spiritual experience in order for them to kind of whet their appetite, though, so to speak. And that's the reason why they want to go out and hunt for the truth, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Or it could be the emotional side. People wanting to speak to a loved one. I've dealt with a lot of people that have come on investigations, and they are only there because they want to speak to a loved one.
I don't agree with that point, because if that was the case, they'd go to their local medium or their local spiritualist church, which paranormal investigators don't go to, really. Not really.
No, they don't. But honestly, Kerry, I've had so many people come along on a ghost hunt and say, I really want to speak to whoever. Okay. Person A, B, and C. And, that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, it's the wrong place, wrong time, wrong area, surely.
I'm here as a paranormal investigator, especially on a public event, to give the public a real taste of paranormal investigating and everything that entails. So, the equipment, how the equipment works, literally sitting in a dark room for an hour, 2 hours, with nothing happening, that is the real story. Mm-hmm. But, Ashley Nibb is in the chat room, and he's just said himself, sensationalism sells stories. Facts can often be boring and less engaging. And he's right. It's spot on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, just look at the head. You've only got to look at the headlines that we used in the articles that you did. They're sensationalists, exactly that. But one thing I would like to say, it does say on MJ's article, it does say that most ghosts can be explained by science, which
Yes.
is a fair point as well, which I kind of think does bring in the factor that it isn't just about sitting in the dark waiting for something to happen and then we all go "Wah!" and go running out the room like we see on TV at times. That there is a bigger picture there, that
Yeah.
it isn't just about that. It is so many different areas it covers. Did you like that?
I love
No, I just
that
heard
little
somebody
squeal.
else doing it in the background then. I was like, what's that?
It's my son on the Xbox. That's probably what you can hear.
Bless him.
And it's true. When we do put out there a serious show on something, it does tend, and I'm going to put that out there, less listeners than somebody who is like Amanda. Well, she'll have
Yeah.
massive listening figures when we do.
Oh, yeah.
When we do a topic like bullying in the paranormal or skeptics in the paranormal, those sensationalist titles got more listeners than a show that we would do on, I don't know, EMF. What is an EMF?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So do you think people do not want to be educated then in the field? Do you think people are just happy doing their passion of going out and believing that a hit on a K2 meter is proof of a ghost?
Oh, people love a hit on a K2. Let's be realistic. People love it. And do you know what? If they're happy with that, then who are any of us to judge? As long as we can say that we're there doing what we do best, doing it properly, and loving what we do, then if somebody's happy to see a few lights flash on a K2, then high five.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do
but
it, you know, yeah. Mm-hmm.
People love the controversy though, don't they? As soon as you put something in the title, if you'd have actually put that title down in, hardly not bullying in the paranormal, like if you'd have put friendships in the paranormal, do you think you'd have got enough listeners? I don't think so. I think, people, I know it sounds really bad, but people thrive on the negativity, don't they?
Oh, God, yeah.
Of bullying.
People love
the
drama.
paranormal. Of course they do.
They
That's what it
certainly
is.
do.
Controversy, isn't it? That article today has caused controversy between us all because we've not said half of what's been written.
Yeah, but do you know what? It is what it is, and I think you have to detach yourself from it. I mean, what I will say about that day, it was amazing. It was absolutely phenomenal to be in a room full of women that most of us had never actually met face to face. We might have had the odd conversation on Facebook, but to actually meet face to face, and we all sat round and we were sat because we was waiting on one person having a hair and makeup done. So we was literally just all sat chatting, and we was coming up with experiments that we want to try, and literally we formed a girls' club.
Yes,
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, you definitely formed the girls' club. And and actually, when you look at that, that's actually quite a powerhouse of a little paranormal girls' club there, quite frankly.
Oh, yeah.
No disrespect to you lads. No disrespect to the lads out there at all whatsoever. But it is quite a beautiful little powerhouse. I mean, you've got, like I said, you've got the great minds working together now. And you was only meeting on Facebook before, but out of that melting pot, I know there are things coming off the back of this, which has got nothing to do with the media, actually. This is private things that are going on with the girls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That are going to happen this year. God, I can say this year. Now,
This year, yeah.
It's this year. I can say that. It's quite a little powerhouse that's built up out of that one experience of you coming together for an interview.
And we've all got different minds.
Yeah.
Different opinions. We don't bitch and moan as we're discussing them. We put our points across, and because we was all sat there listening, and it was like, yeah, but if you take that away and add that in, or do this and do that, then surely the outcome's going to be slightly different and new, and like just that combination of all the minds was, well, it was explosive, wasn't it, Joe?
Yeah, it was great fun to have. I mean, let's be realistic. None of us are in our 20s, so we've got probably a combined experience.
Oh, I felt that.
Of around about, Yeah, but you think about it. how many years experience of paranormal investigations were in that room that day?
Yeah.
They must have been nigh on 280 years at least.
Nearly as old as Jack.
I think I might be a bit overzealous with the 280, but you know, like myself, you know, a good 25, 30 years. Yourself, Gemma, you've got God knows how many years.
Yeah, 16 that I can remember counting.
So yeah, so
there's more, but you know, 16 that I can remember counting.
But yeah, that's 50 years before you've even got anywhere. So,
woman, behave. But no, do you know what? Like, the friendships that we made that day, if the wording's not quite right, are we actually really bothered? No, at the end of the day, it's an article. It's the same as a TV show. They want to glam it up. They want to make it look interesting. Are people going to criticise what was written? Of course they are. But if it was written word for word what we said, we would still have people criticising it.
True.
So,
exactly.
True point.
Do you know what? I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. If people don't like what I'm, air quotes, meant to have said, then that's their bad, not mine. I'm not gonna argue with them. I'm not even gonna try and have a discussion with them. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Did I write it? No, I never. And as Nathan said in the chat room, you can tell it's by somebody that has absolutely no idea about the paranormal field regardless. So, yeah. Swiftly moving on, we had a great day. We made some great friends and we've got a girls' club. High five, everyone.
Oh, yeah. It's a win-win all the way around, right? Oh, it's a win-win. Yeah?
Exactly.
And like I say, the collaboration that came out of that is quite phenomenal. Just from one little interview, photo shoot, getting those kind of girls, people. Anyway, I'm going to take the people. I'm going to put people.
We're going with people.
We're going to go with people. Because I don't want to upset the male factor. Being as well, we got mostly men in the chat room.
Yeah.
But no.
Whoopsie. Hi, boys.
Mm-hmm. Hello, boys. When you get... such the other channel voice there, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
When you get
that was a Friday night once.
When you get a collaboration going on between people in the paranormal field who have got mutual respect for each other and are prepared to listen to each other and come up with ideas and brainstorming sessions and stuff like that, that is actually incredible, right?
All that's going to do, all it's going to do is build on the paranormal field.
Yeah.
So it's a win. It's got to be a win. We're all coming together. We're all putting our minds together. We're coming up with some very interesting new experiments.
Yeah. That's all we're going to say on that one.
Yeah,
That's all we're saying on that one. You're all going to have to wait and see what goes on with that one. That's all I'm saying. We're not going to go into that. I'm sure you'll get to hear about it very soon. And it's very exciting. I think the paranormal field for the new year, bearing in mind we've come out the back of 2018, which was a bit of a, I'm going to use this word too, shitstorm at times.
Oh, she went there.
I did. It's my station. But do you know what I mean? Last year, it was there was a lot of volatile situations that went off in the paranormal field. A lot of people were talking about walking away. I mean, we get that every year, but you know, big people in the field were going, you know, I'm actually getting fed up with the paradrama. But it was a bit of a melting pot last year. This year, going forward, I've spoken to quite a few people over the last couple of days. Bearing in mind we're on a break, so I'm getting a chance to have conversations with people, which I don't normally get a chance to do. I know, Nathan, it's very naughty of me. I've dropped the bombs twice already. So going forward into the new year, I'm starting to see and hear the rumbles from the people that I've been speaking to of it's not enough. I'm getting rid of that. I don't want the paradrama. I'm stepping away, and I want to concentrate on my passion and research and pushing the field forward, and actually wanting credibility and integrity for their work. Not individually. This is not as the paranormal field, but individually. Yeah. And if we all start working a little bit more with that in mind, that's that's going to be a fantastic growth for the paranormal field, surely.
Of course it is. Of course it is. But, I mean, just picking up on something you've just said there, Kerry, you know, the paradrama, that's only there if you put yourself into it. It doesn't just come to you. You have to sort of put yourself into the action to get it. And personally, I won't do that because A, I'm not bothered. And B, I've not got enough hours in the day for it.
No,
Yeah,
I don't know where they get time.
No.
I just think it's difficult when you've got, you know, like we had an instance on the way down to London a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, where somebody's bad-mouthing, you know, other people, and you kind of think Chinese whispers, and this person actually said the exact same thing. Oh, yeah, well, I've heard this from somewhere else, so it must be true. And it's like, no, it's not, I'm afraid. If you want to know something, ask me directly.
Yeah, exactly. He said, she said, rah, rah, rah. At the end of the day, we're all adults. You know, if you're spending so much time worrying about what everybody else in the paranormal field is doing, then how, A, are you finding time to do your own research? And B, how are you changing anything? You're just making it worse. I will not listen to rubbish because I can't be bothered with it.
Yeah, not interested. Not interested whatsoever. That's where I stand. I just scroll on by.
Don't get me wrong, I've got lots of friends.
Anyway.
Of course it is. I've got lots of friends in the paranormal field, and do you know what? I won't want to be without them.
Yeah,
they're amazing. They're not just people that I know, they are friends. But we don't sit there discussing other people. No. If we're getting together, we're getting together because we like each other and we actually want to spend time together. You know, it's not all about he said, she said. I think people need to, as horrible as it sounds, but you know me, say it as it is. People need to grow up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Jealousy as well. The colour green doesn't look pretty on anyone.
Oh,
no, it doesn't. No, it certainly doesn't. But one thing I would say is this is what becomes apparent. The after show parties, as you know, are quite notorious amongst the Parasearch radio presenters. And
got to love an after show.
Got to love an after show. What do we talk about, Jem? Do we talk about other people, or do we talk about?
Oh no, we have
concepts?
Let's not even get started on the monkeys again. Hey, Ashley Nib in the chat room, just saying. Infinity monkeys, type right in Shakespeare. The things that we talk about, yes, it is paranormal related, or a lot of it is, but we are cooking up a storm and coming up with some absolutely mad theories as well. You know, it's not about what others are doing.
With a little bit of vodka mixed in with that, or whiskey, or whatever we've got to have.
Yeah, it can get messy.
Well, yeah, I will say copious amounts of alcohol are consumed through the after show parties. But it's fine. You know, it's good. It's a melting pot of ideas and fun and whatnot.
I love an after show when we all have different opinions on something and it's like, yeah, but hang on a minute.
Yeah, and that is the point, isn't it? It's about mutual respect for each other. And hold on a second, ladies. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I think we've got a guest jumping in.
Is it Mr. Nib?
No.
Is he bringing his monkeys on?
Bringing monkeys onto the show. No, I think it's bear with us. But it's about collaborating and discussing and talking and being respectful. And good evening, MJ Dixon.
Woohoo!
Hello, ladies.
Hi, darling. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
How are you?
Sorry to interrupt your evening, MJ. I know you've literally only just probably sat down to relax because I know you've been working like an absolute donkey all day, haven't you? Bless you.
Today has been a bit manic, but I've just climbed in my blanket fort, so I thought, I'll jump in on the call. Hi.
No. So we've talked about media perception. We've looked at the interview that you guys did in the Daily Mail. And, we think it's fantastic, that you're in there. But we wanted to sort of address a few issues and discuss how the media's perception of what's put in there, but how it can be a good thing as well as a bad thing. Was there anything in your interview that you wasn't particularly happy with or was taken out of context?
There were a few things that, they seem to have how can I put it, altered the words ever so slightly, which changed the meaning quite drastically, if you will. So, you know, there were one or two things about, so I'd spoken to them and they asked me if I did exorcisms. And I was like, oh, hell no. Like, no, honey. That's definitely not something that I do. You know, I mean, as most people out there know, a proper exorcism, you get permission from the Vatican. You get the right people involved. You get, you know, it's not just like, oh, hey, Tom, Dick, and Harry down the road are going to do this. That's just not what happens. And so in the article, they kind of made it seem, because I said to them, like, I don't deal with things like that. That's way out of my league. If somebody wants a house blessing and that sort of thing done, and if I think it's something that's necessary or a cleansing, then yes, I'll gladly go in and do that sort of thing. But I'm not there to, like, you know, every hashtag.
Exorcise the demon.
Yeah, exactly.
This house is clean.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then in the article, they kind of said, well, you know, they changed my words to, like, I work with loads of priests for exorcisms and things, which, yeah, totally doesn't happen. But, you know, it's bloody Hollywood.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what we've both said as well, actually, MJ.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's, you know, people's whole idea of the paranormal is everything's a demon. Everything's, you know, really bad and nasty, and you need to exercise everything.
Yep.
No, it's, you know, like I always say, sometimes it's just Grandma Joe.
just Grandma Joe.
Yeah.
But
Bless her. She wants the brew.
But the other thing that came out of tonight's show was the what happened when you all got together in the same room, when you had all of you sitting around discussing the paranormal, your passion, what you go out and you do on a daily basis.
Oh my God. You know what? I had, honestly, one of the best days ever with these ladies. It was just some of the most amazing conversations and debates. It was a day full of laughter. Everybody was just... It was just so good to meet all the ladies in person, because we've all known each other, or at least about each other on social media and within the field. And to get together, it was just great. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was just great friendships that were formed, and I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think that needs to happen more often. Not so much the media side, I mean the getting together side.
Yeah,
definitely.
And the melting pot of ideas and that discussion
Absolutely.
topic. And then we went on to say about the after show parties that we do on Parasearch, and it is about melting pot of ideas and talking about experiences and how we can change things up. And yes, it gets a bit leery and a bit, you know, drunk at times, but you know, because it's an after show at the end of the day. But it isn't. We're not sitting there having a bitch fest. We're putting ideas in a melting pot and like brainstorming and coming up with ideas and stuff. And that's the incredible side of it, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think that, you know, this is exactly why I created a convention.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly what I want, is for people to come together and share these ideas and learn from others who have experience. You know, just maybe somebody's not as experienced as you are. Maybe they just have a different way of looking at things. Maybe it's just their different ideas that gives you your aha moments. Mm-hmm. You know, it doesn't need to be like, oh my God, look at these people on pedestals. It's not about that. It's about these guys have great things to share. These people have great things to share. And you put everybody in one room. I mean, there were, 7 of us on the day? And just look how many amazing things came from that. Just one day with 7 people. This was my whole thing. I mean, can you imagine 4 days with 100 people? Some of the most incredible friendships and ideas and investigations and everything comes from, and research and people helping each other and this community that's formed. And there's just so much good that comes out of putting aside ego and bitchiness and I'm so much better than this team, or that team so much better than that team, and just getting together and exploring things, because we're never going to move this field forward if we don't put that bullshit aside and work together. End of story.
Exactly.
I out the room.
Yeah. you've just popped up, MJ. From your busy day, you've just got in your little blanket fort, and you've just reiterated everything that we have just been saying for the last hour, without a doubt.
Just like a little recap at the end.
Yeah, you can't beat a recap. But no, it's true. It shouldn't be about drama. It should be about all working together, all learning from each other, looking at the different possibilities and the endless amount of friendship, compassion.
The thing is, we've all got something in common that we are so passionate about. So why shouldn't we get along? Do you know what I mean? I mean, we've got so much
respect, though, as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You've got, obviously on social media, you can't actually see when somebody actually reads your post and actually respects you until you actually meet that person in person. Because on social media, you can be absolutely anything that you want to be.
Yeah, very true.
You can be perceived as being an absolute, forgive me for saying this, an absolute bitch.
Oh, you're not forgiven for that.
No, but I've been told before now, oh, I thought you were a right bitch. And it's like, well, why would you think that? Because you don't really know me. And it's like anybody, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but let's face it, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, we are only joking, everybody listening.
Well, do you know what?
Fair point.
I didn't really want to say anything. But no, it is about having that mutual respect for other people's opinions and what their belief systems are as well. Because not everybody wants to sit there and say, oh, well, I actually believe that could possibly work, or, or she's a medium or he's a medium, but we think he's a cold reader. You've got to have that respect of others that you're working with. And you've got to have that mutual trust as well with those people. Because if you don't have that, you've got absolutely nothing.
Well, this is the thing. There's a few people in the industry that I've never met in person, but I've seen their work, and I have so much respect for them. And I'd love to one day meet them and work with them. But, I will always, if somebody comes out to me and goes, hey, I'm looking for this kind of thing for a project, or, I want to work on this, I would absolutely recommend them. Because I've seen their work, and it goes down to, if I've met those people in person, I'd probably absolutely fall in love with them and want to work with them more. Like I did with you ladies. I met all of you guys in person, and now I just want to investigate with you guys. I want to work with you guys. And if somebody says to me, hey, I'm looking for somebody for a project that, fits kind of this bill or can do this or has these expertise, hands down, I'm going to recommend one of you ladies. That's just...
Okay. I'm feeling the love in the room tonight.
But, there's another wonderful, wonderful woman in the industry that deserves a shout-out, and that's Jane Harris. Jane she's always respected everything I've done, and likewise with her. And, I will always recommend her for projects and things and anything that I come up with. Or if people say, hey, I'm interested in a documentary that's, actually got some body to it, something that's, the person's done the work, done the research, I would absolutely recommend her work because she has done that. She has put in that research. She has put in that work. And I think
there's a very integral point here then, isn't there? That it's not actually about social media. Yeah, that's one way of getting the word out. But it's about, and you've said it several times, the body of work you're putting out there, whether that's via a TV show, whether that's by blogging, whether that's by a radio show, whether or not that's, what you do when you're talking to other people in the field, whether or not that's whether you do investigations. It doesn't matter. It's about your credibility and your integrity and the body of work you're putting out. And if it's if it's right, then the right people you will draw. You attract the right people to you.
Absolutely what I'm trying to say. So this is the thing, there's so many people out there that go, oh my God, I am the UK's #1 investigator. Oh, Jesus. How many times have we heard that?
You see, I'm with you on that. And I did actually say it in my article bit, the bit where it says about, I didn't quite word it as it was worded, but I said, I personally don't believe that anybody could be a professional in this field because every day's a school day. We all learn something new.
Exactly. People that go, oh my God, I am like the #1 UK paranormal female investigator. Fantastic. You're #1 at knowing bugger all because it is the unknown.
You're #1 on your own scale, sweetheart. But, high five.
Yeah. It's like, congratulations. You're an idiot.
MJ, I love you.
But I have to say, I don't know anybody that says that.
No.
Oh, God.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know anybody
don't
that
even.
says
Paranormal
that.
experts. When you
I
get
don't.
labelled as a paranormal expert on a TV show, and you're just like, can you please not?
Yeah,
put that? Can you
safe
put
to
it
say
down?
I've never been labelled as a paranormal expert, so...
This is the thing. This is media. This is, again, going back to like the article and things that were put in there where your words were slightly changed, and it makes you look like a bit of an ass. But
Yeah.
it's media's perception of the
In all fairness, though, MJ, apparently I'm a rich ass right now.
I was gonna say, you need to teach me how to make money out of this. 'Cause
Babe,
really,
I
I've been doing
wish I
something
knew
wrong
myself. I'm on the outer pocket, don't worry about it.
Yeah, right? Oh,
I have
man.
to say, it is
Mate.
absolutely funny though when you read some of the comments that are in the that are on the back of the article on the Daily Mail. Yeah, I'm going to share the article into the chat room for anybody that has missed it because it is great. My girls are in there. All my ladies in the house are in this article, and I love all of these ladies. They're absolutely fantastic. So, are you all witches? And I love the spelling of this.
I know, I saw that. Oh my God, I love that.
I think he was going for white witches, is what I'd like to hope. I'm hoping, I'm like trying to make it sound nice. Somebody said, it's not so bad being grabbed by ghosties, but being grabbed by the ghoulies is not so pleasant.
I know. That did make me chuckle. So, right, the witch's comment. I'm very sorry to tell him that, yeah. Yes, actually.
Strangely enough.
Strangely enough, it leads us down very many paths, and one of those does tend to be working in ways that you wouldn't necessarily have thought about 20, 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He says, looking at all the Yerba Santa, Palo Santo, and everything, sitting on the coffee table. Dear Lord.
The house stinking a bit at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
I mean, do we actually have to, when we end the show tonight, should we end it with a chant or something?
A demonic
good
chant.
measures.
It's got to be a demonic chant, I would say. But I would say this. Paranormal is an umbrella term for so many different areas of working.
Absolutely.
And it isn't just about going out and hunting ghosts. Your lines of research take you down many little rabbit holes, as we've all found out in the paranormal field where we're trying to find explanations. Some of them are incredibly boring, like I was looking into the manufacture of glass one evening to try and find out a logical explanation for some activity that was occurring, which I wouldn't say was paranormal at all, was the manufacture of glass. It was very boring. But
Don't worry, I've had to look into flooring and that as well before.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Mine was furniture and the different types of wood and some that have metals in them and the eras and we've all been there.
Those are the times, and this is what we were saying earlier about going down to doing, the body of work, putting the research into it, and people going around saying that they are these professionals. The thing is that if you're working in the paranormal field, it doesn't mean you have to put out a quirky little YouTube video every week. It doesn't mean you have to go on an investigation every weekend or two in a weekend. It means that the work you are doing and the research that you are doing has some validity to it.
But it's substantial.
That
it has to be
something that you're putting
substantial.
out there, people are going to look at it and go, wait, hang on a second, actually, this makes sense, or maybe we're onto something here, or maybe we could take this further, or maybe your little bit of research when you first start out triggers something in someone that's been doing this for years. I mean, I've had people, when I've done lectures, I've had somebody that's a complete paranormal virgin, if you will, and they've asked me a question, just a simple question, during the Q&A session, and I've looked at them, and literally they have blown my mind.
Yeah.
Because it's like, holy crap. I never thought of that. Like, how? It's right in front of me the whole time. And it can be something so simple and so small. So it doesn't matter if you've been doing this for 6 months or 16 years. At the end of the day, we're all on the same page because there are no professionals. We are all learning.
We're all just individuals doing what we love doing.
Some of us have just learned the do's and don'ts of things and done the research, you know? So there's no professionals in this industry. They are just people that actually do the work and have an understanding of it. You can't go around shouting that you're a paranormal researcher if you haven't done the research.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that run around saying, oh my God, EVPs are my favorite thing. And I'm like, oh, so what did you think of Konstantin Radovay's work? And they're like,
Who?
huh?
Yeah.
Who's that? I'm like, okay.
Well, yeah, because that's just one of the things that we was discussing on the day of the photo shoot, actually, wasn't it, MJ? Yeah, we sat there for ages. And then me and MJ went walking around the Daily Mail offices, as you do.
As
And
you
then
do.
we bumped into Lord, what's his name?
But yeah, we actually don't remember his name. So
No, we actually really don't remember his name.
Yeah,
He wasn't
so
Lord. And he was really nice. And
and very tall.
yeah.
Yeah, and wondering why there was 2 girls walking around with hair and makeup done in what are they called? Boiler suits.
The jumpers.
Jumpsuits, that's it. Yeah, jumpsuits with no shoes because we abandoned our shoes.
I wasn't walking around in those high heels all day. So Gemma and I wandered barefoot on the streets of London.
As you do. Yeah. I did try and dare MJ to sit at a desk and start writing an article, but
Yeah. No.
she let me down on that one.
She won't have none of it. Anyway, on that note, I want to wrap this little show up because I felt it was worthy of discussing the differences between what was said and what was put out there by the media. But the good side of that too, it can lead you down a way of an opening of a door for you to pick up a case or get a different perspective in regards to something that's out there in the paranormal field, particularly as it seems to be a trend in the newspapers and stuff at the moment.
It's even on Coronation Street, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch
There was
it
a ghost. There was a ghost scene on Coronation Street. I walked in as it was playing. I was like, oh, okay. Even Coronation Street are at it.
Wow.
So what I do know is I have received about 3 emails for private cases just from this article coming out today.
and isn't that a good thing?
Well, yeah. I mean,
It gives us a chance to do some proper research with these cases, doesn't it?
It does. It does. You know, it's so funny. I keep saying I am not going to do private cases.
And you
I keep saying it. And I keep getting them. You know, just as I finish helping somebody with whatever it is in their house, and don't get me wrong, not all the time it's paranormal. Most of the time it's scientific. Most of the time it's, you know,
too many plugs in the extension lead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, or a kid sleeping with their head right by the speaker system in their bedroom, which is like this massive EMF field.
Yeah.
Or, oh my God, rats or whatever the case may be. You know, that's not always paranormal. However, I have realized that more often than not, it is becoming more of my job to put people's minds at ease. If only that paid.
On that note, we hope you
amazing.
enjoyed the article today and looking at the beautiful ladies in the paranormal field. And also, we hope you enjoyed tonight's show discussing perception of media and sometimes what is said. On that note, ladies, Happy New Year. Thank you for joining me
Happy New
on
Year.
this pop-up show that we've done. And don't forget, guys, we will be back on the 7th of January, which is next Monday evening. And who have you got on next Monday? Girls, can you remember?
No.
You've got the Paranormal Activity Specialist team on.
I'm on holiday. I can't remember.
I know, we've all drunk so much. The only reason I know this is because I had to write it all down.
Bless you, Carrie.
As soon as you started saying that question, I was like, where's my diary? It's not next to me.
And I have not been idle in this holiday. I would just like to say, keep your ears and eyes open. There is something very, very different coming for Parasearch Radio next year. I can't give you a date yet.
Next year?
This year.
This
sorry.
year.
I know. I keep going like last year. Where am I? Am I last year or this year? Where the hell am I? There is something very special. It's a project that myself and Ashley have been working on. It is not ready yet, and this is where research comes into it. And on that note, that little sneaky snippet, love you all. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the 7th. Good night, guys. Say good night, ladies.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.